Hello everyone, good afternoon. Hi Sanya ji, good evening. Welcome to the webinar. Hi Mr. Avinash, good evening. Welcome to the webinar. Hi, good evening everybody. Hi Voni ji, how are you? Hi. Thank you everybody for joining today's webinar. We'll be starting soon. We'll let the participants join and then we start with our webinar today. So these webinars happen on every Saturday at 5 o'clock. If there are any suggestions that you would want to give for the webinar presented by a nutritionist or the wellness coach, you can drop it in the chat box. If there's any question that you have regarding during the webinar, you can drop all of them in the chat box and we'll be happy to answer. We'll wait for another 1 or 2 minutes for every participant to join. Today on screen, there's somebody else along with us, and we'll be talking about him soon. So uh, let's wait for another minute. Hello, good evening. Hello, Ashok ji, welcome. Hello, Rajkiran ji, welcome. If you all can quickly send a thumbs up or something in the chat box so that we know that you're all here and listening to what I have to say. Amazing. Thank you, Mr. Ashok. Thank you. All right. So we'll get started with the webinar. So you all know there's somebody here that you can see on the screen, somebody special. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Dhruvi Shah. I'm a nutritionist, a registered dietitian, and I've been working with Daily Bloom and have seen over 2,000 patients in the past 2 years. On screen, we have today with us Mr. David, who has been fighting back IBS every single day and is standing really strong. He's 24-year-old and he's completed his graduation in computer science engineering. And currently, he's a data analyst at Infosys. Hi, welcome, Mr. David.
Hi, good evening, everybody. How are you?
So today he is here because he has been with us in the journey and he's completed his journey. And his journey has been very beautiful that we'll be talking about. And he's seen a lot of change in the throughout the journey and has benefited him a lot. So I would like to ask firstly that how did you come to know about Daily Bloom and how did you join us?
Before coming to Daily Bloom, I have actually thought it's not an IBS. I thought it's something different, and I just went for Apollo Hospitals near Jubilee Hills. Actually, what they told is we need to do certain kind of scans and some procedures like endoscopy. When we went all these scannings and procedures, they didn't find anything, and at last they came to know about this. It is maybe IBSD. For me, having it is IBSD, which is included with diarrhea. So actually, they have given just me a Colospa tablet you can use and just avoid the trigger symptoms which the symptoms are triggering you. Puts that triggering my symptoms. So I have tried for 2 weeks, but that doesn't help me, and again went back to the same doctor. It's not helping me this tablet. So could you please advise something? So he advised me to take this Daily Bloom uh, app. That's
That's
where I
great.
reached.
Hmm. That's great. So that's how you came to know about us. And after joining, after talking to a nutritionist, what was your first reaction when you came to know that this is what you'll have to follow? There's a specific diet for it, there's a low FODMAP diet that you have to follow.
It's first I thought like it's very hard because I'm a corporate employee. It's for me hybrid work. I need to stay at home 10 days and another 20 days in office. And all these diet plans, I need to make it possible to cook and everything. I thought it first it was a bit difficult, But my nutritionist Elizabeth helped me a lot because she asked me whatever the items are available with you near, whether it vegetables or fruits and everything. And based on that, she prepared a meal plan for me. That helped me really a lot.
That's great. So basically, customization according to how you are able to follow
Yes.
it actually works, because I understand that if a diet plan which is prescribed does not really, if it's something that you cannot follow, then following that becomes a little difficult and tedious altogether.
Yeah.
So really amazing. Um, After you realize that this is IBS, so how did it affect your daily life or social life, or you know when you had to go out, did you feel like I shouldn't be going out because I have IBS, and considering that IBS symptoms are so unpredictable at times that we do not know when it might occur, so how did it affect socially?
Yeah, that's a really serious concern because if it is IBS-C, I can manage, but for me it is IBS-D, right? Since a corporate employee, I will be attending many meetings and I will be have some project parties and I need to go out with friends on some weekends. I never know when the diarrhea triggers and I don't know when the symptoms come. They will come up suddenly, right? So I felt very bad at starting. I'm unable to go out with my friends also due to this IBSD because I can't eat the restaurant food whatever they have because they include high food, high FODMAP foods. So that's where it's very challenging for me.
And now, after completing the journey, would you say that you are at least able to go out without any hesitation, or at least when you're at work, you're not concentrating or focusing on just IBS all the time? Has that like social life changed for you, or how is it?
Yes, that is perfectly fine for me right now because I can go out with friends to restaurant. Recently, I have went also because my nutritionist Elizabeth told me whatever I can eat without garlic and onion. You can eat whatever the tandoori items in the restaurants. So I have
Right,
planned. And when it comes to you asked me right, you are thinking about IBS every time. That's and my wellness coach Sanya, she helped me really a lot to reduce my stress. The PMR relaxation method, the method she introduced me, that helped me a really lot. And actually IBSD affected my sleep also because I couldn't able to sleep well due to that stomach cramps and diarrhea. But she gave me another therapy before going to bed that helped me a really lot. Because sleep is important, right, for everybody.
right.
That's where,
So
yeah.
that was my next question. That was it mentally also affecting you a little, wherein your focus, concentration, or the thinking, or the concentration where you were supposed to focus more was getting affected. But I think you really well said that how important a wellness coach is, wherein she would give you advices and tips to manage your sleep cycle or the stress level or all of these things. That's amazing. Would you like to add something to it?
Yeah, surely, because I don't know that there is a link between our digestive system and brain. And my wellness coach, she explained me clearly that something gut-brain axis, that's called gut-brain axis, and she explained me how our digestive system will affect our brain, which causes stress, anxiety, and when I'm affecting with this IBSD, I have some stress issues, anxiety issues. According to this, my work related issues also will add up and it will be like mess up for me. But after her therapist, following her therapist, whatever she told, that helped me really a lot.
Right. So that's amazing. In the entire app, there were multiple things. How active were you on the app? Because lot of people knows that there's a lot of things on the app, be it the diet plan, be it the wellness activities, be it the physical activities, logging of your meals, and the chat box option, and a lot of things. But not everybody would use that in the daily life. How active were you, and how that helped you?
The main thing that helped me is whenever I got flare up, I will just click that flare up button and I will give my whatever the symptoms I'm facing right now. And my nutritionist will get on touch with me and will give me tips like whenever I'm having serious diarrhea, she has advised me to take black coffee that will help me to reduce your symptoms, and that one helped me a lot. And another one thing I have benefited is whenever I ate another food which is not in the diet plan, I can mention it there also. That helped me a lot, and my nutritionist saw this, and she will help me like whether it's high FODMAP and low FODMAP, whether I should take in future or not.
Right. So now when it comes to symptomatic relief, you had diarrhea and you had other complaints as well. So
Hmm.
how much relief could you see through the journey if we compare week one versus now?
Week one, it's hard to digest because it's like the cleanse phase, right? She introduced me everything, and it's like need to know which foods are triggering me. And I know I have faced some issues with that meal plan because some foods has triggered me, and that's for good, right?
Right.
Finally we can avoid those particular foods. But currently, right now, I know perfectly what I need to eat and what I need not to eat.
Amazing. The entire process is done so that the entire low FODMAP diet is followed so that we know and understand about what your food triggers are, what your tolerances are, or in what quantity you are able to consume food, right? So, are there any, would you want to name like five food items that were a trigger for you, or you were eating and didn't know that those were a trigger for you? And now you've stopped them or avoided them, and now you feel better as compared to the symptoms that you faced before.
Can't name exactly five, but I can then basically I'm in first thing lactose intolerance. I can't tolerate lactose. That's where the first thing, and the thing is onion. Third one is garlic. These three are main things, and fourth one I can say EV God also. These four items I can't tolerate, and my nutritionist changed the whole diet. Instead of that lactose milk, she advised me to take lactose free milk, which will available in Amul Tetra Pak. She even shared me the Amazon links, which available in that helped me a lot. And this garlic and onion, but right now I can eat onion because she added that me in reintroduction phase a little bit, so I can now tolerate onion a little bit.
That's great. So good to hear that your symptoms that were there before and now the change has been drastic. And apart from that, you also know what could your triggers be, and you also know what all food you are able to eat now. So that's a really good process. Now, when we talk about starting with the meal plan, you said ideally initially it was difficult, and I get that because your entire lifestyle has changed. Like
Yes.
there are a lot of food groups that were eliminated considering that they are high FODMAP. So how were you able to manage that? And now has it become easier for you, or how the change has been for you?
Yes, it is. It has been easier for me because for every food item, I can see the plan how to cook, and that helped me really a lot because I don't know cooking before of that. But for every meal plan, I can see that how to cook. The instructions are there. That helped me really a lot. When I'm home, no issues. My mother will cook, somebody will cook. But when I'm in office, someone has to cook me or something need to be done. But the plan that my nutrition has given me is very simple, like mm, urad dal, ragi chapati, like these kind of simple things which are easy to made. That helped me a lot.
Right, right, great. So basically, it was a plan that you were able to follow, or I could say that you started cooking because of the
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, I'm bad at cooking, but that helped me a lot. I have improved myself somewhat.
That's great. That's great. So, while we are talking about Mr. Deepak and his journey, if there are any questions that you have regarding his journey or regarding IBS or any questions that you want to ask any of us, you can drop a chat box message and we'll get to it during the end. Now we're talking about this journey. Now, you said it socially also affected a lot. Now, when you talk about all the phases, what was one thing that you really liked about the entire meal plan or the activities that were given? So, one thing that you liked, and you would continue it later on as well, like you would want to, because I know that the lifestyle has changed, and it's important to continue with the lifestyle when it comes to following the plan for a longer period of time, but staying on a restrictive diet throughout becomes difficult. So I'm sure, again, like the customization has been done for you, but there must be like a few recipes that you liked or a few tips that you liked which you would continue further as well. What would those be?
Something simple. First thing is managing my symptoms. As I told, currently I'm on hold. What to eat and what not to eat. That's what. And one food I really like is egg burji. But egg burji really needs so much of onion, which is high FODMAP. Startingly, I can't. I'm unable to eat that. But at last end of the program, I can eat happily. That's what I can say from my end.
That's great. Were there any specific food or any food groups that you liked before, and then Elizabeth asked you to stop because they were high FODMAP, but then later again you could eat them, and obviously with some modifications, and you could eat them later on. Were there any food that you missed taking initially, but now when you go out, you're able to eat those? Are there any such food?
Um, Yes, obviously, what is paneer? Actually, she advised me to take tofu instead of paneer at starting. But I know I have tasted tofu. It is really bad. Not that much tasted as paneer. But later on that I am able to take paneer. Paneer bhurji also I can make that. That's very nice.
That's great. That's great. So basically, we do eat food unknowingly, that this could be something that could be a trigger for us. And we keep on eating, not being aware of mindful eating or even about the portion size, because during reintroduction also we introduce in specific proportion to understand your tolerance as well. So we generally tend to not think about these things and in these terms when it comes to following a plan. And generally, whenever we talk about diet, they people generally think that these are all very restrictive diets and everything. But the journey that you've been through, and the way you're describing it, that you were not able to eat earlier, considering that they could be a trigger, but now you're able to eat with specific amount, and you know how much to eat and in what portion to eat. That was really great. Would you want to talk a little more about how your diet plan was, or what you were doing throughout, or how did you change your entire schedule and timing as compared to before? Because I'm sure that earlier you must have different timings and different meal patterns and everything. And
Yeah.
what were the things that were corrected in the diet per se?
Yeah, actually, the first thing they contacted me with the discovery phase, I guess. They just made shoot confirm whether it's IBS or not. That's where the discovery phase started. And later on, that it's the gut cleanse phase where they introduce all of the foods which are low in FODMAP, which helped me to get my health back in track without diarrhea. And later that they introduced me with the reintroduction phase where they introduced back the foods which are of high FODMAP. I can I have symptoms when I that the reintroduction phase happened. Elizabeth has advised me to take Promoganate, which is a high FODMAP, and seriously, I have just taken one Promoganate, and the next day, diarrhea came up with me, and she told, "Yeah, this is good, better for you, so you could not eat Promoganate for the entire your life. So please avoid this fruit." And she introduced watermelon also, but that's also high FODMAP, but I can tolerate that watermelon. And about timings, actually, before as a corporate employee, I told you, right, I will be having night shifts also. It will be like I will be having breakfast at sorry, I will be having breakfast at 11, lunch at 3, and sometimes it will be midnight for me to take the dinner. And dinner also, I will not take normal food. It's like some. like roadside food, some fried rice, etc., etc. But whenever the meal plan, it helped me really better, not only for that digestive system, but it helped me for my whole other bodies. Yeah,
Right. So, one thing that is very important when it comes to following a diet is discipline. Because the moment you start disciplining and keeping your meal timings intact, that becomes very important to follow in a diet. And that actually helps in changing your lifestyle as well, your food habits in your lifestyle, which brings about a huge change in the symptoms and the triggers that generally happens. So I'm glad that you understood the difference between the two, and now you're able to follow it correctly.
yeah.
Anything from the wellness part that you would like to keep with you and you would like to continue throughout? Because as a corporate employee, I understand that there's a lot of stress in completing your task, in completing the work, and there are a lot of meetings where you may or may not get time to, think about yourself. But how has the wellness part helped you throughout the journey?
Yeah, that helped me really a lot because after IBS, I'm unable to reach people the way I am before because due to IBS, I'm distancing the people because if I go without friends or some meetings, I'm unable to tolerate that because the symptoms may arise quickly. And the main thing is stress part where my work will be lots of work when it is in night shift, and the stress I can't tolerate more, and there are times I have depressed also. But the tips she gave me helped me really lot. The one I can say that the PMR I told you, right, that helped me a really lot. The breathe in and breathe out techniques that helped me to feel relaxed and control my emotions, and yeah, that helped me to go better well.
That's great. So kudos to the health coaches, but I would, talk about you a little more because the dedication that you've shown to follow all this, for us, we will be able to give you a diet plan. We'll be able to give you the tips and advices for wellness and everything. But when it comes to following it, it's definitely on you, and kudos to you that you've been following it so dedicatively, and you have been doing everything as advised by our health coaches, and I think you see the result of it in a very amazing way. So your journey has been really great through the entire 14 weeks, and I'm so glad that this has helped you improve your symptoms. And I'm sure there are a lot of things that you're going to take home along with you, and you're going to continue doing that, and you will see the result, and there won't be much symptom trigger as compared to what it was before. So that's a really good thing. Any last key points that you want to add and tell our attendees, anything like that? Post that, we'll be taking the Q&A round. If there are any questions that they have, they could drop in the chat box.
The one thing I can tell is nothing. Health is our first priority, and everything will comes on second. So make sure your health is fine and good. Everything apart from that, nothing else. Health is first priority. That's what I can do.
That's really true, really well said. Because uh, if there's health, there's wealth. That's
Yeah, it
obviously
is necessary.
right. So if you're in good health, I think everything else follows, and you're able
Uh,
to concentrate and do a lot more other work. So now we'll be open to question answers. So we already have a few. I'll just read them out, and we'll start to answer them.
okay.
Miss Arga says that what food you consume when you go out for a tour or travel. So would you like to tell what you have been eating when you traveled out or when you went out with your friends?
Yeah, recently I went for Varanasi. Breakfast I took most of idli, dosa. That's all I can, and some sprouts or else some salads, fruit salads. And when it comes to dinner, plain rice, dal, and potato fry. I can eat them. More if they are not available, I have consumed the fruits which are low FODMAP. And for dinner, the same thing. Which are low FODMAP, I can choose them. Mainly, I have a go with fruits only. Otherwise, if they are not available, and dinner also I have planned with go with some tiffins like dosa, idli, like that, poha. That's
Right,
all.
absolutely. So, any food that is low in FODMAP, a better selection of food when you're traveling outside is important because there are multiple things that are available. So, you picking a healthier option is of more importance. So, like he said, South Indian dishes go really well because they do not have much things that are high in FODMAP. When it comes to simple dal, rice, and salad or a sabji, which is low in FODMAP, could be a to-go food or khichdis, sabudana khichdis or poha. These are all food groups that you can definitely enjoy. Avoid anything which is very spicy and fried and Chinese as well because they generally tend to trigger a lot more. So these are the few tips that you can take home. Mr. Ashok has written that pomegranate is considered a superfood, and I have been taking pomegranate, but I'm not allowed to consume it. Does pomegranate trigger IBS? I don't think so. For pomegranate triggers IBS. So basically, there are multiple high FODMAP food. Okay. Now, out of all those food, one of them could be a trigger for you, and for somebody else, it cannot be a trigger because everybody is different and everybody's gut microbiome is different. So there's a gut microbiome present in our gut which balances the good and the bad bacteria, right? So there are few high FODMAP food which you would be able to tolerate really well, but for somebody else it could be a trigger. So definitely that you'll come to know once you do the reintroduction, and that's when you can find out if that actually is a trigger or not, or if you're pairing it up with something which is a high FODMAP that could be a trigger. Even that combination could give you a spike or a flare up. So make sure that you go through the entire reintroduction phase and understand about your triggers and tolerances. So any other question that any of our attendees have can ask in the chat box. We'll be happy to answer those. Meanwhile, you can also put down any of the, if you have any suggestions for the upcoming webinars, we'll be able to take up those webinars for you, and we'll be a health coach or a wellness coach, a nutrition coach would be able to take those topics and would like to give you knowledge about it in much deeper. So that's it from our end. Thank you so much, Mr. David, for joining us and telling us about your journey and how beautiful it has been and inspiring so many people. Because I feel the dedication that you've shown, despite working, and your age is 24. That I understand that is a lot of things. It's like the growth period for you, and you have been able to manage that. So I think. Everybody else can take the inspiration. And all right, so we just have last two questions and then we'll be closing. So Miss Lakshmi has written, in the cleansing period, what is the principle? So basically gut cleanse is done so that we avoid all of the high FODMAP food that could or could not be a trigger for you. I would like to give a simple example. If there's a bonfire and if there are sparks in it, and when you put petrol to it, it would just lit up even more. And if it is completely out, and then if you put ghee, petrol, anything, it wouldn't there wouldn't be any fire. So similarly, it goes same for our gut. There has to be cleansing that is done, basically removing all the triggers and then adding it one by one to understand if that food actually is a trigger or not. So that is basically cleansing, avoiding all the high FODMAP food. That's the entire principle. Mr. Dipankar has asked, what are high FODMAP food? So these high FODMAP food are basically certain carbohydrates. They are present in certain fruits like apple, pear, pomegranate, etc. Certain vegetables like cauliflower, beetroot, milk and milk products, wheat. It could also be in onion, garlic, chole rajma, etc. So these are all high FODMAP food. Um, Mr. Ashok has mentioned, can I eat wheat chapati once in a week? So now this depends on which phase you are in, and it depends if you have already done a reintroduction for it or not. If it is the gut cleanse phase, then I would say to avoid wheat chapati because we wouldn't know if the trigger is arising. Is it because of the wheat or because of your lifestyle? If you're in the reintroduction and you've already done the reintroduction, in that case, you can ask your nutritionist and she can advise you if the wheat chapati can be taken or not. And if the reintroduction is done and you're in the sustenance phase and you've tolerated wheat well, then yes, as per your nutritionist advice, you can take wheat chapati once in a week or however the nutritionist has advised, right? I think there are no more questions as of now, and we'll be closing our webinar. Thank you so much for joining and inspiring a lot of attendees who are present here. And I really loved the journey that you had, and that was really, really great. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.